You know, last year when WWE 2K15 debuted on the PS4 and the Xbox One, I think maybe about a month or two before the 360 and PS3 versions did, everybody was excited for it because it was the first WWE game, if not the first wrestling game, on the new generational consoles. In fact, for me, when I got my PS4, it was one of the first games I picked up. So, with that said, even though it gave us some unique features like being able to upload pictures that we would have, our own facial features, and hopefully they keep that in. Our own facial features or any kind of thing like a logo or whatever. Even with the addition of that and the return of Create a Superstar, there were a few things missing, if not a lot of things missing. One, we didn't have Create Arena. We didn't have Create a Show. We didn't have Create a Championship. And more importantly, we didn't have Create a Diva. As far as I know. Well, in fact, I do know. Yeah. We didn't have any of that. We didn't have, surprisingly, as I've read the article by IGN, we didn't have a ladder match. We didn't have tornado matches. We didn't have handicap matches. A lot of things that we had in previous versions we didn't have in this version for the PS4 and the Xbox One. But what was funny is the 360 and PS3 versions that came out afterwards had a majority of stuff brought over from this. Now, true, there might have been a few things taken out of this, or out of the 2K version on the 360 and PS3, but a majority of everything that was on here was carried over to their 2K15 version. So you can only imagine how fans felt about that. Thinking, well, wait a minute, you're promoting this as bringing WWE games, your WWE games to the new level, to the new generation of gaming, most importantly now as well as on the PC, and yet you don't give us you're not carrying over everything from the previous incarnation, but yet you're letting the previous consoles, the previous generation, have them instead of us. Now, apparently 2K, unlike THQ, as some people might point out, obviously listened to the fans because they even opened up a forum through many sources and interviews and said, hey, give us your feedback. Tell us what you want to see in the next installment, which is 2K16. Tell us what you want to see there, what you want added, what you want brought back. And apparently, a lot of fans, like myself, have come out and said, put back what you took out that you didn't have to take out. Put back the created stuff. Put back Create a Diva. Put back Create a Championship. Create a Show. Create an Arena. You know, put all that back. Basically put everything you took out and put it back. And obviously that's what they've done. That is what they have done. Now, in addition to that, chain grappling, according to the article by IGN, has also been improved to be more impactful. It's also been improved to be more impactful from what they are reporting here. It says, this is what it says, and I quote, chain grapples are also now impacted more by your wrestler's attribute values, and there can even be ties resulting in breaks or cheap parting shots. Now, another addition is the working grapples, where the initiating wrestler can rest up and get some stamina back while draining his opponents. It's a neat way of taking an element of an in-ring performance and turning it into a useful gameplay mechanic. Now another thing that obviously has been improved on is reversals. They say this year 2 huge changes to how reversals work may actually solve the issue once and for all. You start each match with a limited stock of reversals. Once you use one, it will slowly regenerate over time, meaning that if you try to counter every move thrown your way, you'll be out in no time flat, leaving you completely vulnerable until one regenerates. What's more, you can now pass on your initial chance to reverse a move at its startup, and instead attempt a more so difficult to time major reversal mid-move. It will cost you 2 reversal stocks, but the effects can be match-changing, debuffing your opponent in a variety of possible ways, giving you time to really turn things around. Now, of course, one of the other big news about 2K16 is the roster being at a healthy 120 characters. Now, what's crazy about this, what's unique about this, according to the person that reported IGN's report here, is there's a possibility that the uniqueness of this roster could go like this. We know Mick Foley, if he's added into the game in some way, we know Mick Foley had 3 different in-ring personas. Cactus Jack most notably, Mankind, and Dude Love. He also competed as himself. So one might say, okay, what does that have to do with the roster? Well, the comparison that they used was those 3 personas, the 3 faces of Foley, they compared that to Triple H of now in 90s, early 2000s Triple H. And what they're saying is the Triple H of the 90s, early 2000s, and now will all be one person. In other words, you won't have, like you've had in the past, you won't have 2 or 3 different Triple H's, you'll have one. But you'll be able to select like what version from that one Triple H. Like if you want to compete as present day Triple H, that's fine. You want to press the L2 button or the, what is it? Yeah, the L2 button or the, trying to see here, hold on. You can probably tell not a lot of light right now. Like with the PS4 or PS3, let's say you want to choose Triple H, but you want to choose a different version of him, you can press the L2 button or the R2 button on your PS4 or PS3 controller, or the LB or RB button on your Xbox 360 or Xbox One controller, and you'll be able to basically choose just from that one Triple H that's there, either present day Triple H, 90s Triple H, or 2000s Triple H. That's basically the comparison they're giving. They're giving right there. And the reason they do this comparison is because of the fact that Foley had 3 different personas. There's a possibility that Mankind, Dude Love, and Cactus Jack could be the exceptions, and that they would be 3 separate entities. Now I know you're thinking, well, that doesn't make sense. They're all the same person. They should fall under that same category that Triple H and other superstars might fall under as well. And that's true. He should. His character should. But because they were 3 different personas, 3 different gimmicks, if you will, 3 different personalities, 3 different identities, if you will, that's basically what he's saying. There's a possibility that, that might be how the roster works when it comes to someone that has multiple faces, multiple personalities and identities. That's what they're saying. That's how it might work. Again, not saying it will. We might just have one Mick Foley character on there, and just like with Triple H, you could press the R2, L2, or RB, LB buttons on your controller, depending on what console you have, and you could choose from that one Mick Foley avatar either to play as Mick Foley Play as Cactus Jack, play as Dude Love, or play as Mankind. That could happen. Same with The Undertaker. You could probably have choices just from that one Undertaker avatar to play as he is now, play as American Badass, Biker Undertaker, 90s, Ministry of Darkness Undertaker, or heck, even early to mid 90s Undertaker. You could choose that. Same with Kane. You might think, well, Kane's gone through different personalities. All you have to do is have one Kane avatar, and guess what? Choose from Corporate Kane, to Demon Kane, to Ruthless Aggression Kane, to Attitude Era Kane. There you go. And maybe they'll even give you the option of choosing Ruthless Aggression Kane with or without mask. Just saying. And then, like I said, you can have Attitude Era Kane as well. Again, the possibilities there are endless. Now, of course, the 120-member roster could indicate that, yeah, you might have someone like a Mick Foley and other people that have had multiple gimmicks and personalities spread throughout, but you might just have them all as one, in one avatar. Like Big Show, for example, you could have Big Show, one avatar representing Big Show, and then click, you can have the Giant. You could have Big Show, you could have WCW Big Show, you can have the Giant. There you go. Same with Sting. Instead of having two different Stings, you can have one Sting avatar. You could have current Sting, you could have 90s Sting, and you can have early Sting. Just saying. Again, the possibilities, like I said, are endless. They are very much endless. And one can't really argue that. One can't. One can't really argue the possibilities there, because if they're going to make this a roster comprising of so many different characters, past and present, of 120, if you will, then you need the room to do that. You need the room to do that, and hopefully that's what they're going to do. I mean, you got the freaking NXT roster. You've got the possibility of using WCW alumni legends, ECW alumni legends, and WWE Hall of Fame legends, except for maybe one because of his recent actions. You got all these different abilities, and then in addition, you have your own slot of creating your own wrestler. The only thing I'm hoping they improved on is how many you can put in there. See, that's one thing that's not been addressed yet. See, with the last one, you can only do up to 25 characters. Hopefully now, with the addition of Create a Diva, they've opened it up to where now you can have maybe 50, maybe 100, just like you did before. So that way it would even out to where you would have your roster of created characters to kind of equal out with the established superstars and divas of the past and the present on that 120 roster. But we'll find out more as we get towards SummerSlam, because that's when a lot more will be revealed. So basically that's the news coming out of there. You have, like I said, the return of a lot of those gimmicks. With a lot of the created stuff. You have My Career Mode is coming back with the addition that instead of just retiring and having one last match and retiring at WrestleMania, you can go all the way to the Hall of Fame. You can gain admission into the Hall of Fame at the end. The online, according to this, has been overhauled. WWE Universe Mode, wrestlers can now be booked to multiple shows. Okay. 3-man commentary team. JBL will be joining Jerry Lawler and Michael Cole. Again, like I mentioned earlier, ladder, handicap match, or tornado tag team match type matches are back in, probably along with a few others that have yet to be announced. And no loading screens between entrances, and you can assault your opponents during the entrance, as well as you got improved ref and manager AI. That's really cool. And that's one thing I was always liking about sometimes during the cutscenes when you would do Universe Mode with your created character. If you had two characters in a rivalry, at times they would do a cutscene to where you would come out and maybe the computer's AI representing your rival would come out and attack you during your entrance. So I like the fact that they're actually adding that in as an option to do in exhibition or maybe universe mode entirely. So that's pretty cool. And again, obviously this is not everything. I mean, yes, it's nice to know that Create a Diva, Create a Show, Create Arena, and Create a Championship are all coming back. But still, there's a lot more to go. Probably most importantly, like I said, is how many created superstars and divas can you have? Hopefully it will not be 25. Hopefully they've improved on that, and we're going to get maybe 50, hopefully maybe 100, just like we have previously. Because I can tell you this, even though it's nice to see all this back, there's always going to be one or two things that, if they get left out, are going to ruin the game. So hopefully the roster slot for your created characters will be vastly improved in a huge way. But that's all I have to say about the news on the WWE 2K16, on the additions and returns on WWE 2K16. Let me know what you guys think down below. What do you think else is going to be announced as we get close to SummerSlam? Well, much of the reveal and even the roster itself will be revealed, will occur. What do you think will also be revealed? What match types and stuff? Do you think the roster slot for Creator Stars is going to be improved? Let me know what you say. Let me know what you think down below. Comment if you like, and I'm out.